today?
Oh, amazing. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. This is the first official guest episode of After Making a Baby, the podcast.
Come on now.
So I am so grateful that you are here joining me, taking some time out of your day to join me on the podcast. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so today's topic is making love after making a baby.
So I had to get the making love one for the first episode.
Because I know you. This topic is your forte. You're an expert when it comes to this topic. So I had to get you on this one.
Are we cutting this part of
that? But definitely not. Okay, so before we jump right in, I want to kind of read a message I got.
Okay.
You kind of made me laugh and almost cry too. So the person said, my husband gave me the look last night and I just stared back at him like, sir, I'm literally stitched from the inside out, running on 2 hours of sleep. And the closest I've been to romance lately is holding my baby's hand while trying not to cry in the shower. Please be serious. I actually feel this on so many levels because you know that period.
It's a lot.
You know postpartum recovery period. Your whole body is in shambles.
And they never tell you.
Yes.
Did your mum tell you? Because mine did not. None of the women.
Never. Nobody communicated.
Do you remember getting
this
married and it was all about...
Yes.
Yes. Let's go.
Yes, just get married, then babies, then this.
And back to back to back. Yes. Yeah, nobody tells you these things, but that is the truth.
The way everything changes, the way your body changes.
The way you change, your mind changes. You lose your passion sometimes. You have to find yourself sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So this is a topic I really want us to dive into today. Let's bear it all. Let's be raw.
Not literally.
Not literally.
The words you are intended. Oh, Lord Jesus. We are not bearing anything.
It's meant to be. So we're going to talk about kind of what's normal, what's not, and how to reconnect with your partner when you feel like it's not the same anymore.
Because it won't be. Let's just be honest.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you a moment to introduce yourself.
Okay.
So you have the floor.
Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. I'm Pamela Bassa, and I help women make money after making a baby.
I love it. That's the perfect, literally intro.
Yes.
But like, excuse me, don't worry. Her details will be in the description. So you guys, you be connected with Pamela. If you need any information from her, you're going to find a way to get to her. Don't worry. She's going to hook you up.
Yeah.
She's going to hook you up. Let me just say it there. You find out the rest. So obviously, I really want to talk about postpartum intimacy because it's often misunderstood and it's not talked about enough. I feel like there's no information out there. Like when I had my first baby, I was kind of like, am I normal? Because I felt like, who is this person? Like, I didn't even feel like myself. It took a minute. And then I just didn't understand how to navigate the whole thing, reconnecting with your partner, your body. Like, it was just a mess. And I know a lot of women struggle just from the conversations I've had with my friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, everyone needs the information. Like, I just want to hopefully put some information out there so that people that are starting their journey can understand and be a little bit prepared. Yes. A little bit prepared for what they're about to. So that they won't, because it can lead to a lot of emotional distress when it happens, when you're in it. You'll be wondering, am I normal? Everybody's carrying on with their life like it was just a bounce right back. I snapped back and everything was all snapped back.
Back between the sheets, back.
Yes,
back between the sheets.
You understand?
Not for everybody. For some women, we do have to say that there are some women out there.
You're right.
They did snap back into the sheets, but it's not the same for everybody.
You're right.
And, I suppose we'll get to the meat of it. It is different for every woman.
Yeah. So I have a question. So what was your expectation of intimacy after baby and what was the reality for you?
So for me, it changed child by child.
Okay.
And circumstance by circumstance.
Okay.
For me. Yeah. Before making a baby, my very first baby, I felt that I would snap back between the sheets. I didn't even think about this part of the conversation.
Yes,
I didn't even
it doesn't
know
cross
that
your
you
mind.
would tear, that you would be sewn together with a friggin' needle. They might as well have a sewing machine there because
exactly, just patching you back.
listen, the way this thing happened, it was not the will of God, but it happened. So it was different for me. I've had 3 children, so for each child it was different. And I would say that for my first child, because the circumstances were different, I needed to get back into the sheets really quickly. Just for the audience, I had a stillbirth, as you know, with my first. And so because, I really struggled with finding myself, I literally went back between the sheets after 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
With everything that happened, like everything you were currently going through.
Yeah.
I cannot even imagine. But I felt is that pressure you were putting on yourself because you felt like, okay, I need to just...
It was adrenaline. It was when you are, and I'm sure members of your audience would recognize this for women who have lost, for example, when you've had a miscarriage or a stillbirth or anything where you've lost a child, there's something that takes over where your body no longer exists.
Wow.
So, if you ask me, did it hurt? I don't even remember. Wow. That was not the priority. The priority was, I've lost a child. I need a baby. I need a baby today.
Yeah.
Like, I need this to happen now. So I went back between the sheets after 2 weeks with that child, after our first. With my second and third, I definitely did the 6 weeks.
Okay.
I did the waiting because I was a different person. I had grown, and so on. So it was very different. The birth was obviously different, between each child. Yeah. But definitely I would say that each child, the way the pregnancy happened, determined what I did after making a baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's understandable, but I can't even imagine 2 weeks with everything else you're dealing with. And let me kind of talk about that healing time frame, right? Everyone says 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, but isn't that just BS sometimes?
Oh, yeah, complete BS. I don't know who sold us this 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Somebody who's never made a baby.
Yes,
clearly.
probably maybe a man.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Obviously, do the math. Oh, it must be 6 weeks.
Must be, yeah.
It's
ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous. I think it's about the couple, right? I do think it's important as a woman to plan to get back between the sheets as quickly as possible. Not because of the man, but for the sake of your intimacy, because I think that it's very easy to lose yourself.
Yes.
It's very easy for your marriage to become victim of the amount of pressure.
Yeah, the guilt.
Oh, the guilt.
About the mom guilt, the wife guilt, the friend guilt. Like there's so much guilt.
You are guilt. The I can't work guilt.
Yes.
The everything. There is
true.
just so much that attacks, and I'm going to use the word attack, your libido.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That I think that it's important as a woman to counteract that, to think ahead and to plan for intimacy. I think that if it's a plan, meaning you have a conversation with your partner and say, we're going to wait, we're going to try after X amount of time, we're going to try. Do you see what I mean? This is the timeline for us. Then you release the pressure from your marriage, from him, from yourself and from everybody. But I think that where a lot of couples, a lot of women fall short, a lot of time that we fall short as women is that we don't have conversations about these things.
We're not open about these things.
Yeah, nobody talks about it. And so we start to think that what the doctor says or what the doctrine is what it should be.
Yes.
Just like, I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I got married, so, as a Christian, I grew up in church and the whole no sex before marriage. I thought you'd get married and boom, you are amazing. You're gonna be
a freak.
Listen,
the freaky dick is just gonna open up like this.
I mean,
that was
gonna
my
be
situation
amazing.
too. It was such a wake up. It was such a hard reconciliation for me when I got married, and I was like, finally, I'm ready to do this thing. This thing that everybody has been talking about.
Oh, I was very much humbled. And now I was like,
excuse you, is this what you're talking about? Is this the thing everybody else is talking about?
Why is it so nice? I don't get it.
Why is everybody doing this thing?
For my body to catch up.
Me too.
With the idea that I had about what sex should be and what it should feel like. Yes. So it's the same thing after making a baby.
Yeah.
It takes time for your body to catch up. And so to mitigate this, we have to have conversations. We have to have proposed timelines. And the one person you must have the most conversation with is, of course, your partner.
Yeah. That's
on the same page.
Over-communicate.
That's right.
over communicate. But I know some people, not everyone has an understanding partner, right? There's some people who, so they put that pressure on themselves, even though they are not ready, they feel like they need to. One thing that I feel like people should start doing in terms of like getting ready, getting back into it, it mustn't just be sex.
100%.
This is the time to explore different types of intimacy.
Of fun.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Like just get back to cuddling, holding hands, like just being a bit extra touchy, slowly.
Yeah.
To just, because for a long time, you might not feel sexy. I did not feel sexy. I look at myself in the mirror and it's like, there's no way I'm opening my body up. There's no way nobody's coming close to this because I do not feel sexy at all. Like, what in the world? So
I want to add a caveat to that though. Now, I don't want people in the comments to come for me now. Okay, this is my truth.
I'm bracing myself.
Don't come for me, girls. So the caveat that I want to add to this is this, that I do think that, unfortunately, I do feel that some people take it too far.
Okay.
The waiting too far, right? And a lot of, when it comes to sex, not just to do with making a baby, but sex in general, I do feel that a lot of women think that it's about when I want to. No. I know. I can already read the comments. Oh, Jesus. I'm not even going to read it. Put whatever you want in the comment. I still love you.
Stand on it, girl. Stand
listen,
on it. There are people, obviously, everybody will have their different perspective and their opinions. So I'm sure there are people that will be like, 100%, yes, she's spitting. That's the truth.
Now, I'm obviously speaking about marriage, right?
Yes.
What I believe within marriage is that it's about the other person. It's sacrifice.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the downside is that when two parties believe that, then it works. Meaning, I serve you, you serve me. Then it works. When it's one-sided, that's when it doesn't work. So when it comes to the area of sex, I do feel that a lot of women do it on a I need to feel it basis. So if I'm not feeling it, we're not having sex. If I'm not feeling it, we're not playing. If I'm not in the mood, if you haven't done the dishes, no shade on anybody who's doing that, but I do feel that really affects the whole thing. It affects your relationship. It affects your marriage. And
you're right. It should be a service.
It's unfair.
It should be a service. I agree.
And the reason I bring that up is because during those moments of I'm not feeling it, I've just had a baby, and I'm not talking about within the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, when you're not healed.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking, let's say you have a conversation with your spouse and you agree, we're going to wait 8 weeks, right? I'm telling you, this man will put the timer on. He will put an alarm clock on.
Oh, goodness.
The moment it strikes midnight, 8 weeks.
Literally, open up. So I actually, this is funny you mentioned this because I did a funny take on this, like a little bit of it, like a skit on my Instagram where I was like, POV, when you tell hubby to wait 6 weeks for the deed. And literally it was like,
listen,
it was like 12 a.m. on the day. Alarm, and he grabbed and he like turns and grabs me, and I was like, oh shit, wait, let me tell you something.
I'm not ready.
So it's true, they would wait. So you should want to try and hopefully commit, like you want to commit to that. You have to.
I'm just saying.
But you can obviously, there's leeway at the end of the day. There's you're communicating with your partner who loves and supports you. Yeah. And obviously, if you feel like you're not ready, you should say this. Like you should communicate what your fears are.
Absolutely. But I also think that there is room for doing something. Just like you said. Intimacy is not just about sex. Yeah. Yes, right? Exactly. Find ways of being intimate. Just remember that this dude is a human being. You know, and selfish as we can say men are, you know, they do, you know, that's just part of the terms of marriage, you know, if you see what I'm trying to say. So after making a baby, make some plans to be intimate.
I want to touch a little bit on the emotional and the mental side of things, where it's like some people, you know, the hormones really play have a big impact on libido. Yes. A lot of people have postpartum depression.
100%.
So how do you navigate that? I don't know if you ever experienced anything like that during in any of your babies, and how did you kind of navigate that?
Yeah, I was very blessed to have a supportive husband who supported me every step of the way. Postpartum depression, yes, and low libido, absolutely. I remember at one point, you know, trust you to bring me on an episode to talk about sex.
because
Jesus.
I know that you're the one who's gonna, because I know she has things to teach us.
Whatever.
Basically, I've learned a lot from her, and I need you guys to learn from her.
I'm like, how much can I say? How much can I not say?
See, look, at the end of the day, I feel like this is the problem, right? We feel like, at the end of the day, they tell us, wait to marriage. We're married now. We still feel like it's a taboo topic. Why is it a taboo topic?
I don't know.
Why is it a taboo topic?
The topic isn't taboo. Okay, do you know what? Let's go.
Do you understand? Like, I really want to be open and honest. Like, you will never learn if you're hiding in your, I don't know this. It's all in your mind. I need open, honest conversations because I want to learn. I want to do better. And I want my marriage to be stronger. I want my intimacy to be stronger.
I'm in school. I'm still in school.
So we need to have this conversation so that we can learn from each other.
Yeah,
literally.
we do. I feel that sometimes you have to teach your body to enjoy intimacy.
You know what? I feel like you told me this thing.
I did.
When we first met. And
yes.
I was not like, it changed my perspective so much.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a truth that many people are ready for. Yeah. That's why I was just like, you know, but it is my truth and it works.
Okay.
Right? You have to teach your body.
Yeah.
It's a muscle, right? Down there. It's a muscle. The feeling of wanting to have sex, the feeling of wanting to be intimate, the feeling of wanting to have an orgasm, all of that, that's a muscle that you can train. Yourself. And I didn't know that until my libido was so low. At one point in my marriage, after I think it was child number 2, it was so low that I was just like, what is this?
Yeah,
like,
what is going on? I had to
figure out, okay, Pam, what do you like?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy?
Yeah.
And I had to start figuring it out within my own privacy, you know, okay, well, I like this. I like to be touched this way. I like this. Okay, maybe I want to explore some toys. Okay, maybe I want to explore this. Then I had a conversation with my husband and I was like, well, let's try try this. But I had tried it within my own privacy to know, okay, no, I like it. So if he does that, I'm not going to be irritated.
Some people will never be comfortable.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I realize that a lot of couples don't actually talk about sex, like what they like.
Or try things.
Yes, like the conversation is a bit like, they don't speak about it. Is it that the man just goes in, bam, bam, boom, and that's
missionary.
it?
Missionary, you're done. The mission
Which is
horrible.
Complete. Yeah. You should be talking about these things. You should be exploring. You should be spicing things up.
But more than anything, as a woman, you need to know your own body. You need to know, okay, this is what I enjoy, and you need to be proud of it. I feel that a lot of women are ashamed.
Yeah,
they're ashamed of their bodies. They're ashamed of what they like and what they enjoy. Remember conversations that we would have that, you know, I'd be like, yeah, if I want to sit on my husband's face, I want to sit on my husband's face. He's my husband.
He's my husband. Who else am I going to do it with?
I mean,
we're married.
Listen.
There's nobody else. So it's you and me. It's me and you forever.
My dear, listen, yes.
You have to satisfy me.
All right. If you're laying there and I just want to sit.
The confidence though. I feel like a lot of women struggle with that. The confidence. And I say that with me knowing that I do struggle with that.
Right.
In my mind, I'm like, in my mind.
Of course.
I am a freak. I'm there like, I wish you could just read my mind. I wish you could just read my mind. It's just so, it just doesn't translate because I feel like you said, I struggled a lot when they now said, okay, you're married now, boom, go. Nobody told me about all these things that you're going to, the transition, yes. It would take you to journey. Be comfortable.
Absolutely.
Being that this was your first like sexual experience and also the bounds of marriage, like it was just a lot. So I really struggle still.
100%. I hear you. It took me some, I had to teach myself.
Yeah.
I had to undo a lot of things that were clogging my mind. A lot of things that, you know, were getting in the way of me loving my new body because your body is new after you've had a baby. It's a whole different body. I don't know about you, but before my bikini did not look the way it looks now.
Definitely not.
Right now it's not bikini.
we don't wear bikini, we wear one piece. We wear one piece for
it's
the
just
most.
a big bikini.
What do they do here?
Honestly, even the one piece struggles sometimes.
Things are just not in the right place.
Listen,
you know?
Yeah. I remember like I would stand in front of the mirror and I'll just be looking at this body and be like, oh Jesus, this is what I have to deal with. And then over time, I started to be like, okay, Pam, you know what? Yeah, look at that bum. It's bumming,
right?
It's doing its job.
Tell yourself, help build your own self-confidence.
That's right. It was a lie. Nothing had changed. I wasn't going to the gym. I hadn't done anything, but I had to I had to change my
mindset.
about myself.
So powerful, you're right.
Yeah. You see, a lot of people expect to find happiness in their spouse, or that they think it's their spouse's job to make them happy. It's nobody's job to make you happy. Right? A lot of things that your spouse will do, you will benefit from it, and that might bring you happiness, but there's no guarantee. It might bring you joy, but there's no guarantee. Right? So it makes sense that we understand that we are in charge of our own happiness. So however you feel about your body, you are in charge of changing it. However you feel about your marriage, you are in charge. Yes, it takes two. It takes two. But the moment you start to see yourself as a whole person, as opposed to half a person, meaning the two become one. So most people see themselves as, you know, I'm half.
And he's going to complete
and he's going to
me.
complete me. No, you are complete in yourself, you know.
Two wholes coming together.
That's it. That's it. This was the thing. These were the very things that really helped me to become more confident in the bedroom and just to see myself. Do you know what, Pam? This is the body, and you know what? You are rocking this body, and it's amazing. And he's gonna love you regardless.
I love it. I love it. And I feel like sometimes also when I feel, especially the first time mom, when you become a first time mom, you really do not understand the mental load that motherhood is. Like, just mentally, everything that it comes with. I was not prepared.
No.
And nobody prepared me.
No.
It's exhausting.
Why would they? You wouldn't do it.
True. You
wouldn't make a baby.
It was exhausting.
It's so tiring.
You're always exhausted. And no matter what, you still have to get up. You still have to show up.
I remember after my first, I used to have panic attacks. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I would just randomly wake up in the middle of the night and go... And I'd have to run, open the window, stick my head out for several times. I would be having panic attacks. And obviously something, you know, terrible happened.
Yes.
But still, just the shock of childbirth.
I can't even imagine. Yeah,
God.
the whole everything your body goes through.
The shock of everything that happened. And all of that, it messed with my mind. And it's very interesting because pre-baby number one, I was in a completely different career. Yeah, I was in the acting industry and all of that. Yeah. And the moment I had that baby, I never went back. So till today, I have that conversation with my kids now, and they always say, "Mummy, why didn't you go back to acting? You know, why don't you go back to singing? You're amazing, Mummy." You know, kids will tell you you're amazing at everything.
They're supposed to say that.
They're supposed to
Except
say
when
that.
you take something away from them and then they hate you. But
That
okay.
that part, yeah. They'd say that, and I look back and I reflect and I realize that I lost myself. I had no idea who I was. The shock of childbirth, of being induced, of being tearing.
Induction.
Oh, girl. Of tearing, of being stitched up and all of that. And then, of course, you know, I didn't walk away with the baby. It was just a lot. It was a lot. So
babes.
The mental gymnastics that truly happens for a woman. Honestly, I feel that, you know, women truly are the superhuman, you know, when it comes to, you know, being a human being.
To be honest, that's 100%. Because I remember what I really had was mom anxiety. I actually stopped sleeping. I don't know why. So first of all, after baby came, I had some complications at the end because I had preeclampsia. I had to stay in the hospital for 2 weeks. I remember one night, like the first night when they gave me the baby back, I was awake just watching him, or so I was watching something on my phone, and then he started choking. And I was calling out for help and calling them. And when they came in, they were like, "Oh, it's normal. It's just the mucus. He's trying to get out." And this boy was choking. And you're telling me, I was like, "Is there anything you can do to help him?" "No, just pat his back." And from that day, I never slept again. I just felt like he's going to die. Like, he's going to choke on me if I sleep. So at first I was thinking, I survived this. I did not have postpartum depression, but what I had was postpartum rage. I was always so angry.
Really?
I was Chris would just breathe a certain way.
If you breathe.
If you just say he wants to go out, hey, babes. I did not realize it until I came out of it.
Of course.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I wasn't.
Thank God for good men.
Do you understand?
Do you
understand?
Stay.
Funny enough, because I was telling him, babes, I had postpartum. He was like, "Oh, you did?" Like, I was like, thank God he forgot, because I know I was a I was a shadow of myself.
Yeah. I think most women are, when we look back, when we look back at the nonsense that we did, but here's the thing, that's the thing about the mental health, right? And that's
true.
another thing.
Yeah.
It's about forgiving yourself, letting go, moving forward, and all of that good stuff. But going back to thank God for good partners.
Yes, it's true.
I think that
100%.
that has
That
to be
changes. It really changes your whole journey.
100%.
If you have a supportive partner, and that's a perfect segue into this message I received from a husband.
Oh.
He says, "I love my wife, and I know she's exhausted, but I miss feeling close to her. How do I support her without making her feel pressured?" So I don't know if you have any practical ways couples can stay connected when sex is off the table. How can, so basically non-sexual intimacy way of bonding with your partner. And also supporting, because they're also going through it. They're now fathers. It's a whole new thing.
It's
but
a whole new
they kind
thing.
of neglected for the most part, because the mom were going through so much. So how can they support us and also just feel, like they're doing their best, they're showing up and not pressuring?
I think it's a tricky one because, I can't say to the husband, okay, she doesn't want sex and don't ask for sex, because then the woman would feel, oh, you don't want me.
You better be asking. Even if you say no,
want me.
never stop asking.
And then you get irritated. You are asking too much.
Yes.
Every
time. Every time you cannot breathe. Is it food? Is it food? Because you say, yes, it's food.
And it is. So it's a tricky one. I think it's about being selfless in that moment for a husband. Figuring out what does she really like. This is when you get to know whether your husband really knows you, honestly.
True.
Figuring out what she likes. Taking things off her plate, being there when she needs you most, which is in the middle of the night. Right?
Because that no sleep. Ooh.
Yes. And that's what I was alluding to. Most of the rage that we have as mums, especially mums of babies, is because of no sleep.
Yeah. So I think you're right. If they're able to take stuff off your plate
100%.
and you're able to sleep, then you feel like a whole different person.
Yes,
because I'm not
so
the rage that I was feeling during those periods because of no sleep.
Even me now with my kids that are much older, without sleep,
You're somebody else.
I'm in a whole other planet, I swear. Yeah, no, it's important.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some listener questions that people sent me, and then we'll just give our opinions on it. So one person said, "I feel ready physically, but scared it will hurt. How do I get past that?" Because I know me, I was so scared. The first time, because the first baby, you don't know what to expect.
Yes.
After everything you've gone through, especially if you gave birth vaginally, and you got stitches, and the bleeding for how long? Nobody warns you about all these things. So I kept pushing off sex for the longest time because I was just so scared it was going to hurt.
Do you know what? I actually just remembered something. I think it was baby number 3.
Yeah.
I had all of those things. So obviously I gave birth naturally, got stitched, all of that. I remember the following day I woke up and I called the nurse and said, "No! She said, "What is it?" I said, "Come." I took her to the toilet. I said, "I think there's another baby coming out." And she looked, she said, "No, you're just swollen. You're just swollen." I was so swollen.
See, have you never heard, wait, don't tell me. So you looked.
Girl.
They say don't look for the first 8 weeks. Don't look down there.
The swelling was like a whole other limb.
A puffer fish.
A whole other limb. It was so
Never look. Literally,
my goodness.
I've heard that thing so much. Don't ever see. I never looked one day. If I'm passing a mirror, I'm just going to. I don't need to see what's going on.
We don't need to see.
It's scary.
It is so scary.
It's traumatizing.
It is.
To see what it looks like.
Yeah. No, it really was. And just to answer that question, it is scary.
Yeah.
And the first time is different for most. It's different for everybody. For me, I can only speak for myself. It was very painful. But I do feel that the majority of pain is in our head. If we think about it. I mean, let's go back to childbirth. I don't know about you, but having those babies, I'm just like, I can't. But you did it.
Yes.
Right? You did it. And then it finished and then it was like it never happened.
Yeah, you forget.
And
then you
right?
want another baby.
And then you went to make another baby, correct? And then another one after that. Yeah. So a lot of it is, and it's about taking it slow.
Yeah.
I mean, take it slow and think there are many things besides
the
actual main event.
Yeah.
You know, have a starter. Start small. You know,
dip your toe in, appetizer. Find new ways of actually that intimacy.
Right.
This is the time to discover.
This is the time.
Explore, you know.
Yeah, let him explore you. You explore him, and do that until you build up. Again. That threshold of okay, let's go.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Another question I got was, my partner thinks I'm rejecting him, but I'm just touched out. I feel this one so much. How do I explain it without hurting his feelings?
Yeah, it's hard. That's a really difficult one. I think most women feel touched out no matter how old your baby is.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, I'm touched out. 10 years, you're still touched out. Yes. And it's because we're tired.
Yes, exhausted.
Right? It's because we're exhausted. And I would look for some therapy, for sure.
You're right.
Have a conversation.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Have a mediator. A therapist is the best mediator. And definitely, and if you don't feel comfortable having that conversation with your spouse, have a therapist deliver that conversation. And it's about, I feel touched out. So now you want to find other ways to get my attention. Yeah. Because for a man, touch is one of their, when it comes to the love languages, it's one of their most important. For us, touch sometimes is like number 3, 4, 5. You know, it's at the back of our minds. Yeah. And sometimes we need our spouses to understand that, no, it's actually acts of service.
Yes.
Right now. Oh, no, it's actually gifts first. It's actually this. And, you know, training, I have to use the word training because I used the word earlier. We have to train ourselves. Just like we have to train ourselves, you have to train your spouse.
Yes. No, that's 100%. I agree with that. Yeah. You guys have to learn each other.
That's right. Relearn.
Exactly.
Yeah. Relearn each other. Yeah. In this season, because it's a season. And when it comes to marriage, with each new season of marriage, it's new learning and new training. Yes. And that's why, I know this is not the topic of this conversation, but I have to go there. That's why I believe a lot of marriages struggle because you're in a whole different season and you're trying to battle this season with the weapons of the season before.
You're not adapting.
You're not adapting to the change.
Yeah.
This is a whole different thing. Yeah. And you have to adapt. You have to figure out what is going to work in our marriage in this season. And once you figure that out, both of you together, it becomes easier.
I love that. Move with the seasons. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up with just some practical tips and takeaways for mums first, and then we can talk about also for the partners, because we're in this together, right? Yes. We're in this together. Yes. So for mums, one thing I'll say is just taking that pressure off yourself, right? Because like we said, intimacy can mean so many things. It doesn't have to be the main event.
Yes.
You can start slow. You can communicate openly with your partner. You can explore, and just you find other ways for you to feel sexy again, for you to reconnect with your partner. Yeah. If you feel like you're scared, tell him you're scared. Tell him, like, I'm scared. It's going to be painful, you know? Yeah. Let him know what exactly you're going through and what you're feeling. So he's aware and not just, in his head thinking, I'm pressuring now. I don't want to ask. I don't want to do this. This is the time for you guys to really connect with each other and talk about it and navigate this together.
I agree. I love that. I think I would add to that by saying that, phone a friend, find a friend. Do you remember that show from years ago, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
And one of the 3 options is phone a friend. I'm going to use that right now. Phone a friend. It's so important as women. And, I learned this, recently, within the last, I would say 3-4 years, where I started to do this with my very close network of girlfriends. You need women in your life. I feel that when we get married, a lot of relationships get cut off instantly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's on purpose, but most times it isn't.
Not.
Yeah, you're just trying to bond with your husband and get used to this new season that you forget the people who actually helped you through life on your path there. Yeah. And I feel that if you carry that on when you become a mom, it's so incredibly isolating.
And lonely.
Right?
Ooh.
So lonely.
Yeah.
So find some girlfriends that you are comfortable with. Go online. Go into communities.
Yes.
Meet other people, other moms who have children at the same age as you, at the same stage as you, and for God's sake, talk to them.
Yes.
Have at least one friend who you are comfortable and you can feel naked with. I'm not saying be naked, but you can talk about the fact that, you know, I feel like this thing's gonna hurt, or I actually don't want to have sex. You know, you need that one friend at least that you can be honest with, and it's a no judgment zone. If you don't have that, then make that your therapist, but you need somebody.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Africans will struggle with that because
Yes.
there's almost this thing they teach you, like, it might not be said directly, but you know, it's your marriage.
don't discuss your
Don't
marriage.
discuss your marriage.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
discuss
yes.
what's going on.
Yes.
Hide
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
friends. So it's really, people are battling with, should I open up or should I not?
Yeah. Oh,
They're
that advice has
confused.
killed many women.
Yeah.
100%. There is wisdom in it, but people take it too far.
Yes.
Right? A lot of women are in trouble in their marriages.
Yes,
but
and nobody
they're
knows.
conditioned,
Yes,
you know, to keep it quiet. I do agree with that. You know, be careful who you speak with. So it's not about don't speak to anybody. It's be careful who you speak with.
Yeah.
That's all. Make sure that, you know, you vetted this person, that, you know, they're also talking to you.
You're right. You're right. It's a two-way street.
Yes.
Not that you're going to tell me
not
your
a
business
monologue.
and the person is just there looking at soaking it all in. It should be
Taking
an
notes.
open, sharing, you know, kind
Yes.
of like experience
Yeah.
where you
And
guys are
test
both
the
learning from
waters.
each other.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but I have this thing where I don't share everything with one person. Right? I think that can be dangerous.
Okay.
You have to know who your friends are. You have to know what they are amazing at. I have friends who I can talk about intimacy with, and that's amazing. I have friends who I can talk about money with.
Okay.
And that's different. I have friends who I can talk about, I don't know, food or what I'm going to wear, and I won't feel silly. I won't be, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
It's
have
true.
to understand
I've
your
never thought about it like
circle.
that, but when I'm thinking about my circle now, there are people I know that I can just go to when it comes to intimacy. I know this is the
Boom,
person.
this is
my person.
That's
When it comes to
right.
fashion, this is my person. You know,
That's
that kind
right.
of thing.
And when you do things that way, you are essentially protecting yourself.
Okay.
Because you're not giving your everything to the one person, because that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So for the partner now, I would
Yes.
say patience, patience, patience.
Yeah. And I would add gifts.
Gift. Now is the time to see all the love you have in this life.
Listen,
pack it all up.
collect.
Pack it all up and pour into this woman.
Yes.
She's just been through a lot. Don't take rejection personally.
Yes.
There's so much that can be going on mentally, emotionally, hormonally, inside her body, everything.
The whole thing.
Please just be
Yeah.
patient with her and
Yeah.
like just if you can anything, like you said, take things off her plate, acts
Yeah,
of service, like
words of
pour
affirmation.
into her. Yes.
Words are so-
If she's
words
telling you
are
that she's
so
ugly, tell her
important.
no, you're sexy. You're
You
the
are.
sexiest person I've ever
Look
lived.
at her, she
You're
walks
the
by
div.
and you're just
Ooh.
like,
slap her bum. You know,
Yes.
like you, this woman, you're good.
Look at you.
Make her feel
In your
like
boo-boo.
God. Yeah.
I love it.
You have to
Yeah,
pour
yeah, yeah.
into her.
That's right.
This
This is the
moment.
time.
Yeah, this is the time.
Yeah. I agree. I would agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Gifts. No, for this season, what is the love language? Like I mentioned earlier, what is the love language for this season? And also protect her. I don't think we've talked about protection much. Protect her, because I can imagine, especially if we have a lot of African women watching this, those in-laws, man, they can do too much.
You're right.
There's so many.
They cross. There's no boundaries with them.
Sometimes it's inexistent. It's like a clear glass. This boundary. It exists, but we don't see it.
Invisible glass.
Invisible glass. Protect this woman. You know, make sure, because this is another thing that happens. You have this baby, and now the mom or the mother-in-law wants to come in and move in, which is fine because we need their help.
need help.
But your number one as a man, your number one priority is protection. That's all we want.
Yes.
Provision is important, yes, but protect is, I would say, is the primary thing that we want. Speak for me.
Yes.
Speak up for me.
Yes. I don't need to
In
be
my
in
face
there with your
and
people.
behind my back.
Yeah.
Stand up for me.
Yeah.
You know, that for me is like, that's you bringing home the bacon right there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No, 100. Oh, that is key. I love that. Okay. If you could give one piece of advice to any mom struggling with postpartum intimacy, what would it be? Just one. Drop one gem now.
Drop it.
Scatter our head. Drop the mic.
Wow. Yeah, let's go. End episode. One piece of advice that I would say is really understand that love really is about self-love, right? Take your time to love yourself. Stand in front of the mirror. Speak the words that need to be spoken. I feel that for me anyway, the words that I say to myself are so powerful. The moment I trained myself to hear my own voice and to understand, Pam, you're the shit, right? Me, I believe that so much about myself that when other people say, I'm like, oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, of course. Yeah. And so when somebody says the opposite, I'm like, well, you're
who are you talking? Who do you think this is? What do you think this is?
You know,
so you already have that ammo in your head because you know you are the shit.
Who you are. You know, and it's not about bragging or about being big-headed or being too much. No. It's really just about understanding who you are and being so comfortable and confident in yourself. I feel that when it comes from within, it radiates on the outside.
I love that. Perfect. Oh my God. With that, we will wrap this episode in a pretty bow. So if this episode resonated with you, please share your story, send it to my DM, put in the comments. I would really love to feature your story in the next episode, and let's keep the conversation going. So thank you so much, Pamela, for being our guest today. You have been amazing. You have taught us a lot.
That was exposing. Please.
Expose it in an amazing way. Because everyone's going to be like, I've never heard it like this. You were just so honest and raw. And that's what I want. Raw, real honesty. Because if we're not having these conversations, how are we going to find the support that we need? We can't grow. Get out of your comfort zone, please. Right. And let's talk about it.
That's right.
So that we can learn and stop. I hate it because postpartum is difficult. Let's take a few things off the table, the guilt off the table by talking about 100%. It. Simple as that.
I'll be in the comments with you. I'm looking forward to hearing the stories, reading the stories.
We'll be having her back. I know you guys, this was amazing. Don't worry. She has so much more to teach us. So we're going to have her back in another episode. But for now, thank you so much. Remember, you are doing amazing. You guys, moms out there, it is hard. Motherhood is hard. It's exhausting. It's beautiful. It's messy.
It's rewarding.
It's all of these things. Yes. But you are doing amazing.
Yes.
You've got this, mama.
Yes. See you soon.
See you soon.